how would you take a document like this or a design on Figma and turn it into a website or a funnel on Go High Level? Well, my name is Pamela Dale, and I've been building funnels for multiple 6 and 7 figure business owners for a long time, and I've been using High Level. And I want to show you how this is done, all of the little pieces that I take a look at, how to make this faster and easier and quicker and better. So let's take a look at how we're going to break this down. The first thing that I think through is, what is it that we're looking at? This was a beautiful woman who is working her 9 to 5 and wants to become a virtual assistant. She's been doing it for years. She wants to do it for herself. And she came to me and said, hey, I've been looking at your videos and you have done some really great stuff. Can you help me understand how I would put something like this document, which is her portfolio, into a website? And I'm like, absolutely. It's got the same pieces. You can see that it's got very similar to what a website would look like. We're looking at a hero image, right? We've got an introduction. We've got what does she offer? We've got some pricing. We've got the way that it operates, testimonials, and then she's got a call to action down at the bottom. So the first thing that I did is I took this document and finagled a little bit, got some images, and put those all together for us so we can build. And then what I did is I took the copy off of it. I did this by uploading this PDF into Canva, which you can do now, and then you can pull the copy easier. Sometimes you can still copy off of a document, but I wanted to get the wording. So I've got all of that pulled up here as well. So next step for me was, okay, let's take a look at the building blocks for her. We need to have some Google fonts, right? So I took this document, and what I did is I went right to the top here to KS Savvy Assistant, and you can see I typed it in, and I know it's a serif font, and I thought, let me take a look and see which one is probably closest. And I don't know exactly which one it is, but you can see the S has got this little at the end. This one here is a beautiful font, but it's got more of a straight line at the end. So I just scroll really quickly. I don't think this matters a whole lot. She may already have a font, and you can change the fonts out really quickly. But I thought, oh, let me just see quickly if I can take a look and find something that is quite close. Now, this doesn't look like it's too far off. So this is a Google font. We're going to use Volcorn. So that's awesome. And then the other font is probably something as simple as an Open Sans. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that one as well, just for fun. And let's go in. Now that we've got that, let me come into the training account. The next thing that I thought through was, okay, how about some colors? We do know that her portfolio has got a purple and then it's a black font. So if I come into my Canva account really quickly, I'm able to pull up in the Canva and take a look here at her color. So if that's the other reason I use Canva. So I'm able to click on her background color here, jump over to this background color, and then I can see that this is the color here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my notepad, and I'm going to remember also that the font is the Vulcan, and I'll probably spell that wrong, but that's okay, close enough. So then what I'm going to do is I've got a little bit of the structure. Okay, excellent. Next, how do I think through, and I think this is probably a skill set that took a little bit of time to build, and I'm not sure that everyone can understand the way this needs to be done because of the way that High Level works. So we have to think about funnel design and wireframing, but we also need to know a little bit about how does High Level do this. So let's just jump into the editor and show you while I'm talking it through. I'm going to create a new website here and just test one to show you quickly what we are going to be working in. High Level has a hierarchy inside of the builder that is really important to understand. When we go to look at a document like this, I need to be able to think like the editor. So inside of the editor, we have, let's let it load. It's going to ask me to add a section. So sections are green. And then inside of a section, I've got a row, and I can do 1 column, 2 column, or up to 6 columns. And this will make sense as we go. And then inside of here, I have the columns, which turn purple. And then inside of here, I have an element. So I could put that image in of her, right? So we've got to look at every drawing, either Figma, on Canva, a Google Doc. We've got to start thinking about how we're going to put it into High Level's structure. So I need to think about sections, and then I need to think about the rows within those sections. I need to think about the columns inside, and then I need to think about the elements. So when I'm looking at a document like this, my brain thinks that way now, right? So first thing is we've got what I would call an above the fold page, and this page is long. We actually want to flip it, I think, and almost turn it so that we've got some text here and an image of her here. So that tells me that this is going to be a section with 2 columns, and we're going to have text and image. It's usually how it's done, or we've got image text. It depends, but I like the image and the text and image, pardon me. So we're going to do that. And then the next thing is I scroll down and I take a look. I would probably turn each one of these pages into a section so that I have a natural break and I can see where I can then build from. So next would be, this could be a 1-column section, no problem. My concern though is with this really big block of text, we might be able to break this up. One thing this is not going to be is a copy design or a big design call recording, because this is simply take something and how do you think about it and put it into High Level. So we will take what's here and we'll move forward with that. Next, I can see that we have the services and the skills offered, and I've got a 2-column row here, and then I've got 10. There are 10 on the left and 10 on the right. Then I've got pricing. I can see 3 columns, right? And then in the way it operates, this is 4. This could be two columns with 2, or it could be 4 across, right? It could even be 1. It depends on how we want to lay it out. And then we've got testimonials. There are 5 testimonials here. And then we've got a call to action, etc. So that helps me understand how that's going to kind of come into play. Now, the one thing that's really powerful about High Level are the templates. So sometimes it's easier to use a template than others. When I first started, I used templates because I didn't know how to do this. So then I thought, okay, let me show you how I will look at templates. So I'm going to go to the new website here. I'm going to go from templates and I'm going to continue. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to think, okay, I need a section with one row and 2 columns, right? That's what I've decided. So then let's take a look at these templates, and you can see them very quickly and easily. For the top piece, we can kind of see what we're looking at, right? We can see this hero image. It stops about here. It stops about here. This one stops about here. This one stops here. And then what I would do is I would just look and see, are there any that I actually like? So we can do that. And then what you can do as well is click on the eye and it will open up for us and we're able to see a little bit more. And scrolling down, there are some possibilities inside of this template for some of the pieces that we were looking for. We can see 3 columns here, maybe for pricing. We can see, 3 more columns for pricing. Fantastic. Maybe this one could be an intro section for Kathy, right? Etc. So this testimonial piece is really nice. So what I'm showing you is that you don't need to necessarily start from scratch. But then when you load this, how do you fix it? How do you take it from these templates over to the website that you want to build? Great question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new website, and I'm going to start from blank here this time. And we're going to call this one Chaos Savvy Assistant for Kathy. And we're not going to do my normal naming conventions and all of those things today and how we really build from scratch. That's in another video, but I want to show you specifically today, what is it that we will do? How will we build this? So we're going to build a 1-page website that's going to have those sections with a menu bar across the top that's going to scroll down to those other sections. So the path on this one, I'll put home, and we're going to create that page. So we've got the bones of it. Okay, excellent. What I did ahead of time is I found 2 live website build templates that I really liked that I felt we could start to tear apart and use. So let's start with this one. I'll come in. Well, let me show you what I've got here first. You can see there's an image in the background, and then we've got the text on the right and a button. We've got 3 columns here. We've got 4 here. Remember, we had those 4 and 4. And then we have this about piece. I kind of liked that as well. Here are 8 pieces. We could turn that into 10 very easily by choosing a 4-column row and a 5-column row, pardon me, instead of a 4. And then we have courses. Here's another beautiful one that would work well if we had the images for the 8 things that, or 10 things that she does, right? And then we've got pricing, and there are some pricing tables here that are actually not horrendous, right? And then there's a testimonial section here. So then how do I take this without loading the whole thing? Great question. So what I'm going to do, maybe we like the section. This one actually could have worked for the whole site, but I want to show you how I'm going to save these sections. And this is why I choose to build in sections versus all in one, all gobbledygook, right? Is you can see a very distinct break in each of the thought processes and each of the different calls to action in the different things that are being explained, different features. Like you can see there's a real clear break. When I hover over, you can see where the green is outlining everything. So what I'm going to do is this top one, I actually don't mind this, right? I'm going to save this. There's a little floppy disk, and I'm going to call this KS menu header section. I know it's a section, so I like that. And I'm going to add it as a template. At the moment of this recording, I cannot add it to a global section and have it move outside of this particular website into a funnel, etc. I must save it as a template, and then I'm able to move it around. So that's the first one that I've saved. So that's our menu across the top. I've got a different one of these that I'm going to use in another website, in the website from another template. So let me show you that one as well. And then if we come back to our drawing here, next we have a welcome. Let's find a really great one because she had an image of herself as well, right? And I think in this template, I think the appointment and the thank you pages don't have much on it. Not much. Okay, so let's go back and let's break this in and start doing the pieces. So, and then we'll pull it all into one, and then I'll show you what we're doing. So let's go into website number 2. See that image across the top? I actually quite like that for Kathy. So this is the one that I was thinking we would use, is this one here that has the text on the left and an image of her on the right. So let's find that section. And it can be at times a little challenging to find if the margins, etc., are down to 0. The little handlebars, the little green and the blue pluses don't show. So what I do is I come into my layers, and I'm going to go to my page, and I'm going to come to the section. This is a 1-column row. When I'm hovering over this, you can see it's highlighting this one. So then I want to highlight this one. This one now opens up so I can see it, and I still can't save it. That's about normal. So what we're going to do is we're going to butcher it. But we don't have to save it. That's the thing. Because I want these section, see they're all at 0. So I'm going to put a margin at the top of this, and I'm going to put a margin at the bottom of it so I can get a hold of those little handlebars that I need. So this is like a little tip. If you can't get a hold of those pieces, that's what's going on. So now I can get a hold of my green. There's the green. Now if I come back up here, I can see my little save. This here is going to be KS header section. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm slowly going down in both of these templates, or in 6 of the templates if I wanted, and I'm going to keep saving the pieces. So the next one is skills. We need something that's got a 2-column and then maybe something for 10 that's side by side, etc. I really like this for her. So I'm going to save this section, and this is going to be services. You're going to always watch me type. It's always going to be so fun. And we're going to add that to the template, and we're going to save. So you kind of get what I'm doing, right? So I don't need to save any of this. This is fine. It's just a template. I'm going to ditch it. I'm going to actually delete it out of my account once I am sure that I have all of the pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to come into hers, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to add in those sections. So let's go edit. And now we're going to come to my section templates, and here it is. KS, we're just going to drag it over. Now it may or may not bring in the colors and the fonts and stuff because we haven't set any of that yet, but that's okay. We're doing great. We've got a header section. See how it's pulling in a little bit? And then we've got a services section. I'm going to pull that one down. It's not pulling any colors. That's perfect. We're going to save. Now we can start to set typography. Remember we had said it was the Vulcan. You don't need to really spell well because it should come up once I start typing. Oh, it's Volkov, I bet. Is it Volkhorn? There we go. This one. See how it changed things? So weird. And then we're going to go with, let's use the Open Sans. Now we have the text color. We can set this. Hers was, I think, almost black, but let's just double check. It's saying, yeah, 00. So it's all black, so that's fine. And we're going to jump back over and we'll just leave that at black because that is black. And then our link color, we'll put it in as her purple just for now. So we've got her purple here and add that color. X out, and we're going to save. So now what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to build out the pieces of everything by adding in the copy. And then we can adjust from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to keep building this out, and I will come back and show you a little bit at the end so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Okay, so this is so what I like to do is I like to wireframe it out first, and it's really rough based on the diagram we've got. So we know that this here is our menu bar. Maybe what I'll do is I will just give it a color so that it's easier to see for us. And let's just use that for now. And that one's a little bit easier to see. We can see what section that is. And we might turn this background here into the purple just for fun, right? And maybe this will stay white. We've got the highlight and things like that, but we'll get to that. And we just want to continue here. This leaf, I'm not crazy about it, so I'm going to take it out. And then we've got some text here that we get to choose if it's going to be our black or if it's going to be our white. And we'll just continue here. It's in the bold, so it is coming in. Whoops, it's coming in as white. It's not going to let me highlight that color. That's fine. Oh, it's a button. Didn't see that because I couldn't see it. So we're going to put the button ground color. Let's put this in. There we go. Okay, so it's looking better already. And then of course we'll take her copy and we'll put her image in here. So this is in the background. So what we're going to do is we're going to upload, and I'm going to create a new folder here. And this will be, I like to use as many folders as possible. And then I'm going to upload everything that I've already turned into the documents, etc. that we need. And I chose WebP images versus PNG, etc. and I've made them quite small, so they're a lot better for load time, speed, etc. So it's really important that you do choose WebP images. And then under advanced, remember she had that black border. So black border, full solid 2-pixel black. It didn't really show up. And that's not uncommon. We'll work with all of that later. Okay, so we've got this first piece across the top. It's not bad. Now we're going to go to welcome. So we've got 2 images, right? It looks like we're going to negative margin this one up. This is a little bit of a background. Ooh, like it. Okay. And we'll add the copy in later. So I didn't add that section in, did I? So let's go find one that I think would work really well for the about. Was there one here that we liked? Let's have a looky-loo. This is really just playing with things, checking things out. It's can be so simple and can be so quickly done. I would, about me, can't do 2 things at once. I would experiment just like you see me doing, because everything is so quick to delete and update and undo and reverse and turn around. It's really fun. So not having the trepidation of it would be really cool. And knowing that you can go re-download everything 3 more times, like no limit to anything. These can be as big or as small as you'd like them to be. So now we're going to try to find that. There it is. And we're going to go section templates. And this is about me. We'll drag that one in here. Now, she had that image, right? So let's go find that image. Was this one? Not horrendous. It does got a fade on it here. So let's go no fade. And then let's add in another section. Oops. Let's do a 1-column section here. Oh, I didn't make this an image, her name. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting text blocks because these will need to be different because they are different sizes. They're the same font, but put 2 different elements in and then a divider and then another element here and then an image down here for her name. So let's do another. Let's build one from scratch this time. Let's go full width. We're going to add a 1-column row. Here we're going to add in an image because we had that image of her, right? So let's add this. And it was the round one, this one here. Is that right? Yes, beautiful pictures. Okay. And we're going to go 200 pixels just for fun. Not quite big enough. Let's go 300. And then what we're going to do is we're going to negative margin this up by negative 200. See how it popped it up above? And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go bigger on the image, almost 400. That looks better. And then this text we're going to get rid of. That row and get rid of that as well. Okay, I'm going to save this because I'm liking it so far, right? And the update SEO, I always leave it till the end. And this can go up bigger or not. And then what I'm going to do now is inside of here, I'm going to add in a headline. And this is going to come in as an H1. I want it to be an H2 for SEO because the H1 will be this one, right? So the H2, and this was, we can start copying our bit. Is that what it was? Right? Pause. Founder. See, you can grab it for the there as well. We'll do another one. Subheadline. And it just comes in a little bit funny, but that's okay, right? It's got a line above. We'll delete that. And then depending on, and I probably wouldn't fuss too much with this at the moment, we do want to make sure that we're using the headline font because that's the font we chose. And then she had her name. Looks like there's some letter spacing, things like that, but we'll take it for what it is at the moment. Let's go 32 on this. I think her name could be quite a bit bigger for balance. Oh, 430. Funny. It could even be 50. I like a little bit of a V coming down when I'm doing things, so I like that. And then let's grab a text block. We're going to put some padding on the top of this so it's not so snug, right? Oh, we needed a divider. See, no harm, no foul. You can just do this. You can just play. Divider, she had a black one, and it didn't go all the way across. It went about, was it 50%? A little bit longer than the, oh, that's not bad, Pamela. All right, we're doing good. So this one now, I might again put a little bit of a, this you can play with so quickly and so easily. So that's fun. Now what I'll do is a little bit about myself. And we're going to grab text and we're going to pop it in. And we're going to turn this one to content font, right? I don't like it at 23. I think it should be about an 18. And it's quite a bit narrower, isn't it? It's in quite, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the padding on 100 and 100 just to have a look at it. No, 140. No, 200. I don't know. Oh, I do that all the time. That's better, I think. And then we'll do 200 on this. And no, we'll do mobile later. So we'll have to definitely redo mobile, but that's okay, right? A little bit about myself. I might do that. Looks good. Let me empower your business virtually. I'm going to duplicate this one out just for shits and giggles. I'm going to run it down. I'm going to paste this in. Don't put the spaces if you need it. Just put in padding and margin. And we're going to put a, and we can put a little image down here as well. So let's go like this. And we'll put a little image. And I have another one that I've added, but I didn't see the Kathy. I created this one and turned it a little bit and tried to make it fun. And then you can move and play with this. So we could probably move it and put it up here. But for now, I'm just going to leave that, pretending that says Kathy. Yeah? Oh my God, look at us. We're just like sailing along. Services, 1, 2, and then our 10s, right? So 1, 2, and our 10s. So in here, I need a 2-column row, right? And I'm going to drag this baby over like this. And I'm going to put that image in that she has. And it was the one with this one. And then here, we have a headline, right? That copy as a small business. We're going to copy that. Pop that in there. We're going to make it left aligned. We're going to put it at a 18. We're going to change it to content font. We're going to go into this column and we're going to go left to bring it up to the top. How else was that looking? So the image is too big, right? So then we're going to go 200. We're going to go 100. And we're just going to play with it. That's not bad, right? So then here, the title was Services and Skill Sets Offered. So we want to do that here. Maybe get rid of this one. And we might, let's look at the background. See, she's got it in purple, right? So to do that, this needs to be in its own section versus being in a row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in another section just to show that that's another reason why we turn these into separate sections so that we can then change the background color. I'm just going to drag that up here. I'm going to get rid of this one that was in. I'm going to turn this white because that's what it was. And if it's bold, if we add in bold for whatever reason, we need to set as white. And this one's going to be white. And sometimes pulling stuff in, the bold colors are kind of missing, but no harm, no foul. Okay, so you can see that now what I can do here is I can adjust if I adjust the margin, it's going to adjust above this, so it's going to be white. So I'm going to go, if I go 40, you can see it just added more white space. We do love white space, so absolutely. But I think this needs a little bit more for the purple, right? So we're going to go into padding and we're going to add in a 60. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click here and we're going to add a 60 here as well. And it's just her. Save. We're doing pretty good here. So that's not horrendous. Okay. And then you can see I like my own work. This is good. So then you can see here we've got 4 rows, but we need 5. Let's take a look. So she has 10 pieces here. So I counted these, so there's 10. So let's turn this into 10 by duplicating a column, just like that. And down here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to duplicate a column. So we have those, and we're going to hit save. Now, we could use icons or not. You'll notice that they're not even, which is kind of drives me a little bit crazy. So what I'll do immediately is go top left for all of the columns. I'm going to go top left because I want them all, make sure it's in the column, the purple. I want it to all come up to the top left. There, now they feel like they're almost even. That's better. And there's something in here. What is this? It's a button and it's changed its background color so I can't see it. Okay, awesome. So sometimes when you're pulling stuff in like that, that makes sense. Now we may or may not want a button here for each of these. I will center these up well for just in case Kathy wants to keep them. And the reason this is happening like this is because of spacing, etc. These have 2 lines of text. These have 1. So if I take this out, you can see that it lines up. So the copy is going to really matter to be sure that, even get rid of these spaces, right? See if there's an extra space behind the word as well. So I'm going to hit save because I'm liking that. And then what we're going to do is we could put these in an order, or we could change the copy so that it's all 3 lines or all 4 lines, or we could change half of it to 3 lines and half of it to 2 lines. And then we can get these in to fit. And then what we can do is change out these images later, or we can add in something different. We could add in a icon, or we could add in an actual little image. But for now, we're going to keep going with that. I think that looks pretty good. Our next section is pricing. So let's take a look at pricing. Now you can see this one, if I'd styled it in a way that I already like it, it's perfect. I like the padding, I like the margin. I would suggest you don't do this unless you walk away for half a day. Don't do all this in one day, just walk away and then come back. I'm not always that patient. I want to see what it's going to look like. So I might duplicate this out and then just have to double, change everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and make sure that I can highlight this. And I'm going to hit this little copy where there's 2 square icons, and I'm going to click and it's going to copy it. Then over here, I'm going to hit the down arrow and it's going to take me down to the next section. See what it did? Oh, lovely, because now it is pricing. Choose the price package that works for you, right? So let's jump down to pricing. And pop that in there. And then maybe this time, I'm going to move this one down. And then she said, choose pricing. I'm not sure. And of course, change the wording, but that looks good. And then what we have again is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These could, I'm thinking out loud. I was just going to say this could be a button, but it's actually not. It's a background inside of a text element. So we're going to go 3 columns, and then we're going to go 1 column down here, but we're going to put this in the same section. So let's do it. We want in our pricing, did we bring in a section for pricing? No. Okay, let's go find a pricing one. So that's why it's really important to make sure you keep saving. I had saved, so I could back out that quick. Let's take a look at the pricing sections that we liked. I think it was the one, the red one. Well, let's double check. Let's look again, see what we can see. Actually, don't mind this one. Let's save this one for pricing. So we'll go pricing section, and we'll add it to templates. And then the next piece that we're going to need is some testimonials. The way it operates, we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, but we need the testimonials as well. So I'm going to save this section as KS testimonial. And then we need the 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what we can find for a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I'm thinking about it? I'm just kind of looking at it really. Now, this might work as well. I'm just wondering if we are 1, 2, 3, 4. So the section is how it works. Let's go back and let's go look at the red one again. See if we can see something that we like. And we want a 1, 2, 3, 4. And the different colored backgrounds. This is kind of interesting as well. What about these 4? You know what? I'm going to choose these 4. So this is the, I'll call it the how it works section. We'll add to templates and save. And we're going to need a footer as well. So let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. Got a couple of options here. I actually like this. Let's do this. Just something simple, right? I'm going to put top bar because we're going to put a bottom bar as well. Copy that so I don't have to type it again. And then we're going to save this one as the bottom one. Now, once we save these all into templates and we want to move testimonials, just say, for example, we want to move this website into different pages as she grows and gets more information and more everything, you know, it takes a lot to fill out a 5-page website, then she can save and put those templates that she's got perfected into global sections and pull testimonials across the sites as well. So let's take a look. Actually quite impressed with this so far. And it's very simple. It's not challenging for us to put together, is it? It's actually coming together quite nicely. So we're going to go here, and this is our section templates, and we're going to pull in our pricing here. We'll drag her down to the bottom. Come in, yeah. So we've got this piece here, right? This kind of here, but we can do that as well. Move this down if we wanted to, right? But we want a 1, 2, 3 and a 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, questioning it, but let's just get rid of it, and let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got her wording, right? And then we've got focus, determined, and loyal. Let's do that. And what I would probably do is, since I've got this one highlighted, I'm going to come over here to the background color and I'm going to turn it to purple. And then what I'm going to do is change the color to white. I'm going to add some padding. I want a little bit of padding on that. I want it to be a little bit bigger on the top and the bottom. Let's see if 10 is enough. It's not bad. Then what I'm going to do, and it's my famous way, is I like it. I'm just going to clone it. I'm going to drag it over, get rid of this one, do the same thing, drag it over, get rid of this one. And then what were her words? Whoops. Focus, determined, loyal. Focused. Whoops. Determined and loyal. And then it's basic package per month. And then she can add in this wording. And then she's got this section down here. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's go save. And then we're going to, SEO always comes in. Then we're going to add in a 1 column row, right? We're going to add, what was it? Not really a headline, but let's add in a subheadline. The reason that's coming in as a headline drives me crazy. Then we're going to duplicate. In the middle, we're going to add a divider. Quite a bit of space there. It's a little bit thicker. It's purple. It's got some, let's put a bit of margin on this one. Had a bit of margin on it, didn't it? I don't think it had 60, but, and then this also had, the big trick here is to be consistent. If you're a margin girl, use margins. If you're a padding girl, choose padding, because you're going to forget and you're going to get it all misaligned and it's going to be just a bloody shit show. So we don't have the text in, but I know that it's not 100%, so we're going to try 90. That's not horrendous. So we're going to leave that for now. We're not going to add in the copy, but we're going to keep going. Wow, look at us building websites and funnels. Exact same website builder, exactly everything. This one, the way it works, let's do that. But let's do this part. Remember, we're going to clone it. We're going to drop her down. And this is, I forget so quickly the way it works. And then I'll just leave it for now. And then we're going to go to our addition, section templates, how it works section, drag that down. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So here what I'm going to do is we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So let's go number 1. We can make that smaller. It says 285. Let's go 150. Now, this was kind of up and off to the side, so we can play with that too, right? In our column, let's go with the purple background. We'll just do one of these just to see. This I'm going to go left. I'm going to put initial consultation here. I like that little there, so I'm going to leave it just for fun. And then we're going to put white. And then we've got some text we're going to put in white as well. And sometimes bringing sections, it just brings in this blank. So you just have to double check everything. I'm going to put this in white as well. Now this is in dark because that's what was in here and the text is dark. So we could do one or the other. This image is easy to turn color. I use Photopea. I don't know if you've heard of that, but I take Photopea and what I do to change a color. Let's open this up. Let's take the 1 just for fun. And then I'm going to double click on this background. I'm going to come to color overlay. Click on this as well, right here. So click this and here. And then in here, I'm going to choose white, which is 6 Fs, or you can see the color here. I'm going to go OK, and I'm going to go OK. Now you can see how it's turned white. I'm going to go File. I'm going to export as a WebP. And this is going to be 10-white. That's just a not the naming convention I would suggest you use for images, but it definitely does work for a quick, because this could very well be changed 6 more times, right? Can I get an amen? Yes, that happens, right? So I don't know what looks better, but we've got those options, right? So now here, what do we have if we want to move this up and out? Well, the first thing I want to do on this section is I want some more room. So I'm going to add a margin. I love the number 60. It's my favorite. I don't know why. I want that there. Then this image, we're going to have to negative this thing out, right? So if I want a margin left, let's go negative 20. Let's see if it works. It did a bit. Now I'm on a white background, so interessante, that's not going to work. So let's come back and let's choose our, whoops, I don't. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go padding, and we're going to go a negative 20 as well. It's not going to go, so we're going to go margin next, negative. See how that's starting to move up? So I'm probably going to turn this to a 40. And I'm going to change this one to a 40. Just like, and you have to tab to get it to move. So you get to play with that a little bit. Now, when it comes to mobile, we're going to have to change it. And this could be also a little bit smaller. So if I go to 100 on this, to keep it the same as what it was, I'm going to need more padding, negative margin. So that's how you're going to continue to keep playing with that. But we want to make sure that we have the size right, we have the color right, and then we'll come back in and start to play around with these. But you can see here that this is on mobile, on desktop. We'll do mobile later. So that's how that's going to look like this one. And it looks like it's just at the top. It's not over to the side. So that could work, right? And then we could put this all now in black the way that it was. Very easy to do. Come back over here and just grab it all in the black. And black. And save. So that's how I would do that section. And these could be a little bit bigger. We could also turn this to a 2-column row like this one is, right? So how would I do that? Well, what I would do is, since it's this one that we want, right? I'm going to duplicate this one out to get a hold of it. I need the column. There it is. And then I'm going to delete this one. Whoops, this one, and this one. And you can see it starts to get wider, right? So then what I would do is find, now I've got that negative, so that's going to come up above my ability to grab my blue and everything, right? So I want to try to find my blue. It's going to do that every once in a while, no problem. I want to duplicate the blue out. So if I'm having trouble getting a hold of it, which I could because I've got this negative on here, right? So I'm going to remove my negative for now and come back to it later. So that's something that I 9 times out of 10 don't do the negatives until I'm sure, because I'm going to end up with this issue. So then what I'm going to do once I love it is I'm going to duplicate it out and give myself the 1, 2, 3, 4 to match this. Now, if I wanted them thinner, how would I do that? What I would do is I would take my 2-column row. You can see it says width at 100%. I'm going to turn her down to 80. Like that. Same with this one. I can turn it to 80. I can drag it or I can type it. Like that. Save. Whoa, not bad. Excellent. What's our next section? Testimonials. Same thing. On this one, I'm going to give it at least a 60 margin at the bottom. I just love a lot of space. I love, love, love. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in our testimonial section. I'll drag that one down. And we've got the same thing happening with the, I always go to the save instead of the clone. Pop this down. This one is testimonials. And we can get rid of all of this again, if this is the way that we want it, right? And then this is an image. It's a headline. Whoa, so sexy. So then what does that mean? It means I can change the color. Purple. if I wanted. Not bad. Maybe we don't want it all black, right? And then what we're going to do is we will copy. She's got these images here for these people's pictures. So we can put that in here. Here's the first one. And I would change the sizes. I would do all of that first. And then I would put these all in, pretending they're pictures, or maybe for privacy reasons, we don't have pictures. So we've got those. Here's the testimonial, and then there's their name. That's not bad. We're going to save that. And then what do we have? Oh, we've got the call to action. Let's do this. So let's duplicate this out one more time. We're going to scroll down. We're going to do, she has an image for that. Okay, perfect. Let's get rid of that then. Let's add our full width one here again. We're going to do the same thing we did above. On a one column row, on an element, we're going to add in the image. And we're going to negative margin this one up as well. We're going to finagle this. That's my favorite word today, finagle. It's this image. And I can't remember the size of this one. We want to be consistent. 400. 400. And I could have even done a 2-column here. Let's do that. So then we're going to just duplicate this column out. So easy to change. We're going to get rid of this element. Add an element is going to be, oh, it was an image. I was thinking it was text. It's actually image as well because I created it as an image. So we're going to add this image in of the let's do it. Okay, now this one. There's so many ways to do the same thing. Actually, I like the way I did it before. Yeah, let's one column it. Let's negative margin this one up quite a bit. So it's like a negative 300 even, maybe. I don't remember what we did. So this one needs to be quite a bit bigger, right? So then I need a lot more padding here to make that happen. And then let's do this kind of touching. It's a little bit higher up than it's not. Okay, I don't know how we're going to do this without a bunch of code, so let's just play with it. I'm going to add in another image. This one's going to be the, let's do this. It's going to be quite a bit smaller. I don't know if, no, not that small. Let's go 100. And never, ever, ever put in a width and a height. Just give it a width. Let the systems take care of the height for you, or it's going to stretch and be weird. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right align this one. Am I? Maybe. Can you see where I'm going with this? I want to get this up and right about here. But here's the issue with it being on different desktops, sizes, tablets, etc. It may or may not render well. Is that the right wording? So I'm going to put this as, just to show you how this might be possible, we're going to go with a negative 500. It's got to get up beside it. See how that's happening? And then I'm going to go padding. And you always have to tab to get it. It's not going to work on padding. It needs to be margin. Oh, I'm in the section. See what's happening? Oh, that happens a lot. So I'm going to hit undo. Section. I want to make sure. So what happened? I even forgot. Because this went up, it's actually now underneath the section. I can't get a hold of it. So we are going to save for now, and I'm going to come into my layers and I'm going to find that image. So I'm going to keep going until it's the one I want is highlighted. And I'm going to open it up. It's not, it's this one, one column row, first column, image. No, image, it's this one. So now I can see it's negative 500, right? So I want a margin on the left. Let's try our padding now that we're in the right place. 140, not bad. But we want to almost go 200, right? And I think I want that image a little bit bigger. 125. Oh, my sister. We haven't even previewed this yet. We've been so just diligently working. Let's take a looky-loo at what we have, because it's always, 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 oh, you could see that border really quickly there. Now my screens are bigger, things will show up a little bit differently, but this is not horrendous. What I'm doing is trying to copy exactly this, right? So that's the thing. So that doesn't look, and then if you start to watch me scroll it in, and now we're in mobile. Oh, Lord. Lord loves it. Okay, let's go back. We're so close. Now what I'm going to do is we have 1, 2, a button, and another line. So we've got, I don't know about these arrows yet. 1, 2. So we're going to go 1. We're going to change this. Content. We're going to give it a 80, 60. Yeah, something like, we can work with that later. Oh, it's not quite that much. 40. And then we'll just duplicate it for now. And then we have a big old button. Click here to book a call with me. Lovely. We're going to go button. I know it's close. There it is. And there's quite a bit space on the top of this one as well. 40. Oh, this is moving. Okay, we're going to deal with that in a second. So that's interesting. So we're going to go undo, 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 undo. We went right back to where we were. Yes, we're going to add in another section because of what's happening there. Let's add another full width section. Where did it go? When we're negative margining things, this can happen. So this is sometimes just normal. There it is. And this one's going to have, and just because we're negativing things up, we want to get that one. Now it won't interfere with that one. So now we're going to go one column row. Here we've got that subheadline. We're going to change that to the content font. We're going to duplicate it. This one's going to get, did we put 40? And then we were going to add in our button. See, now it's not touching this. So this is good news. Let's go with 60. No, I keep saying 60 is my favorite. And then it was, click here to book a call with me, because that's going to change our button. So and then hers was quite a bit fatter. That's a technical term. We're going to go with, I always forget, vertical and yeah. So we want to go 40. We want a nice big one if it's at the right size. The font was bigger. What's going to happen is, first we're going to get rid of that. We're going to change it to purple. I hate that green. It's just the worst color in the world. Oh, her button was black. And then a little bit of the horizontal. Just want it just a little bit bigger. If we change the font size, 36, it just makes the button bigger. It doesn't go to 2 lines. So I think that's okay based on the size. Oh no, it's. And then it looks like this could be a bold text. So if we want to put bold on the button, we want to make sure that we're under the font size, font weight normal, not the subtext. We don't have subtext on. And then we have those two arrows. We have another piece of text. We're going to just duplicate this. We're going to drop that down underneath. We're going to save it. I don't know about the arrows. And we're going to add another section, and we're going to add in our section templates of footer top bar, background color, so we can see everything. We're going to put it in purple. I think the other one was in black and then red, but we're going to change it. And then we want the footer bar at the bottom. Did that drop in? No? Okay. Do it one more time. And if it does that, just hit down like that. This one, we're going to hit a black background. That's her. And then here we're going to put our famous 60. Give it some breathing room. Can do lots of things in here. I don't have her logo. Let's hit save. Let's take a look. That's absolutely delicious, actually. So I can finagle with some of the margins and padding on this. This doesn't occur. And we just want to make sure that's Kathy. We could make this image a little bit bigger. Like there's some little tweaks. But as for what we were trying to recreate, that was the goal of this, is what can we recreate, right? You could see I could pull a PDF, put it in Canva, and do all of these amazing things with it, right? So let's just work with this top piece for a minute. There seems to be, I want it to come in a bit on the left and the right. And the column, what happens if where's my border on that image? It's not really showing up, is it? So we've got something going on. Let's go with the image. It's a 2-column row, so we want the image itself. We put the image in the background versus just adding it in. Let's change that. I'm going to go, whoops. I don't know what I did there. Command all, copy. And I'm going to delete it. Then here I'm going to add an element. So you can see how I kind of just changed it. And here I'm going to add in the image URL. There's our border. But we're going to take the border off the column now. We're going to go no border. I'm going to put a border on the image, advanced, to make sure this says image. Image border, dark. Image full color, dark thumbnail border. It didn't give me the ability to change the thickness of the border. So that looks like it still may need code. Maybe, but at least it's got a bit of a dark border on it. That actually doesn't look horrendous. So you could see how I was starting to make those changes. Yeah, just slowly got it all in, and then now I'm gonna, come back and fix it all. So now, I don't like to hover on this. So we're gonna change the hover color, background color. We'll turn it to black, and then the hover text color, we'll turn it white. Let's hit save. There, now you can see where that looks good. And then this is the about. And I'm gonna come back up here to the about. I'm gonna click and I'm gonna edit this, and I wanna scroll to a section. So where do I get this, right? So let's go about section. I'm gonna cancel this for now. This is the about section, right? We had 2 sections. So I actually might grab this one. I'm gonna make sure that I've got the right section highlighted. I'm gonna come to advanced, and I'm gonna click on this CSS selector. I'm gonna click copy. I'm gonna come back to my menu. I'm gonna click on it. Oops, I'm going to make sure I'm in the about, and I'm going to paste in that section number. I don't want it to open in a new tab. I'm going to hit submit. I'm going to hit save. Services, same thing. Let's go find our services. And you could choose this one to scroll down to, or this one. Come to advanced, copy. And this is how you make a one-page website, just like this. And you can change, just make sure you change that one out of there. I don't know why there's a piece in there that sits there. You can change it from about, services. I can drag up pricing. I can change courses to testimonials, right? Save, save. Now we need a domain and all of those sorts of things as well. But for now, let's take a look. I would probably make this a little bit bigger. Look at us. Hey. Testimonials, or I don't know, I feel like it's. Okay, now let's click on about. Let's click services. What? It looks delicious. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. That's how we are going to take anything. You throw me a Google Doc, throw me a Canva doc, throw me a PDF, right? Throw it and it can be built inside of High Level. The ability to take anything is possible.